back, and we're gonna do the exposure mask viewer. What? Okay, this is getting really complicated. So these are XY coordinates apparently. Read a width and a height. Okay, XY with height. Draw a rectangle of that size at the specified location. You have got to be kidding me. That's crazy. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because it's all white. So, all I have to do is... I don't know how I'm going to do that. Okay, okay. So I got XY. Okay, so this, what? Okay, so there we go. These are the top left corners. Perfect. Okay. So now we have an image that isn't necessarily as bugged out. Okay. So these width. So I need to move left to ACC. And then I wonder if I can put two loops inside of each other. So X loop, right? Sub 1, move 3 down, right? And then as long as it's greater than 0, so how do I check if it's greater than 0? JGZ, so JGZ, right? X loop. Now I need to kind of have this -1 here, and is going to count for me the height, I guess. So I don't know, I wrote that twice. So if I move upright, nope. Okay, if I move left, down, so the y coordinate here, let me just do y loop. Let's try something. So move so the x coordinate can go down, but the y coordinate go here. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is split, so the x coordinate information will come down through here and feed in, but then this can kind of filter off the y coordinate information from here. So this is going to kind of separate it out, but the width information here, so it's going to move left to ACC, which is going to be the y coordinate, and then it's going to move it straight over here, the width. Now what this is going to do is going to save the width, and then it's going to subtract 1 until it's done. So it's going to say it's basically going to check to see if it's 0. Okay, so it's gonna save. No. Yeah, it's gonna save. It needs to know when it's done, though. That's the problem. It needs to know when it's done with the width part. And I don't know how it would know when it's done with the width. See, because what's going to happen is if this, let's say this module can feed, you know, the y coordinates to this module to then feed to this. The problem with that is that it doesn't, this module is not going to know when to stop. Unless... I just remembered those new things that I came across. The new labels. The any and... Right? Any and last. Because this could say that it just could, like, you know, be a communication module, and it could just like spit out whatever it sees or whatever. Okay. Problem I have with this is that it's not making any sense. Okay, move left to ACC. Okay. Move left to right. And then it needs to know, it needs to like save move right ACC. This isn't making any sense. Sub 1. Okay, move ACC left. Loop. Okay. If it's greater than 0. Okay. Okay, so if it's equals 0, then we're going to start the whole thing over again. Otherwise, Okay, so let me think about this for a second. We start by propagating things here and here. We move things back, we just check to see if it's 0. If it's not, then we swap and we add wait a minute. Is 0 less than or equal to 0? Oh, okay, here we go. So move up, down. Okay, we need to provide an x-coordinate every time, so we have to save the left into ACC. So we can't just save it into down, just save it into ACC. Okay, and then for the y, we just move up, down, and then for the x loop, we just repeat however many times right. Of course, we have to do that outside of the loop itself. Oh, we shouldn't save it. Okay, so move left. So now we're separating out the height because and putting it here, because otherwise I'd have to save, like, or not the height but the width. Otherwise we'd have to save the x coordinate itself. Okay. Oh, that was an episode that was taking forever to be built. This is really confusing. Okay, so jump equal to 0 while loop. Right? Move right, ACC. So if it's equal to 0, it shouldn't go to while loop. That's equal to 0. Boom, goes up. Oh, I know. This thing has to keep repeating until this tells it not to. Wow, guys, I'm tired. I guess I'll have to finish this one later. I've been doing a lot of episodes today, so it's fine. So, so we're back here. This is like a week later. I remember I was working on this and I was just like, holy crap, I don't know how I'm going to do it, right? So basically the last thing I was working on was you read an X value in, boom, you read a Y value in, then you read a width and then a height. So it's basically like an object, kind of, but in sequence. And then you have a rectangle that you have to draw so that it's going to look like this when it gives you these numbers. And I think what I had was something that basically drew it. I couldn't fit everything that I wanted to fit in like these tessellated boxes, so I had to separate, like I had to make like a loop in one of them that would basically draw the rows, and then one that would loop through doing the columns or something like that. And if I remember correctly, you have to give it a -1 when you're done, and a 3 is white. And you give it an X and then a Y and then a negative and then a 3 and then a -1, right? So basically, yeah, so basically it would move down and then right. So this would be the X, down. So X would go here, and then the Y would go here. Then the height would go, the width would go down, and then the height would go right. So this thing would get the Y value and the height, and this one would get the X and the width. So basically, this one up here is supposed to keep track of like the second value that this is supposed to get. So this one will go, it'll store the X value in ACC, and then it'll move the ACC down. Okay, so that's starting a new rectangle. Then move left, right. So that's telling this thing to keep track of the width. And then so this thing will move left to ACC, and then it will loop, subtracting 1, telling it move 1 left, move 1 left, move 1 left. And I said move ACC left. Which is wrong. Because this is the width. Right? You don't give it a -1, right? You don't have to give it a -1 until you're done. So I'm going to go back and look at the last one, I think. Yeah, see? Actually, you know what? Let's look at this one really quick, just to remember how we did it. So in order to fill the whole thing with white, See, I would jump, repeat, move left, ACC. If it's equal to 0, then I'd move a -1 down. But if it's not, I would just move 3 down, move 3 down, move 3 down. Because I think that's how it works, right? So for here, I don't need to give, I shouldn't be sending the width down to the image. The image doesn't care about the width. It just wants the starting coordinates, and then it just wants a whole bunch of colors until you give it a -1. So right? So it says move right, ACC, and then it tests to see if it's 0, basically. Oh, that's what I'm doing, though. This isn't moving right down. It is testing to see if it's 0. Okay, well, let's step through it and just see what's not working properly, and then I'll just fix it. So we're moving things down. So 23 is the X. Boom, X goes here. Okay, and the 10 is the Y. And it's saving it, apparently. Okay, 4 is the width, 5 is the height. Okay, so we got the width here. Move up, down. So there's a 17 waiting for later. But we're going to forget those for now, because those are just the new coordinates for another box. Okay, this thing is calculating that we need an 11. Did this output anything yet? See that? Some ain't right. Okay, so 23 and 10. Whoop, hold on. Let's start that over again. 23. Now the next thing that this box should be spitting out is a 10. And it's spitting out an 11. That okay, so I don't know why it's spitting out an 11. 10 goes here. Saves it. Move left, right, so it gets the width here. Move right, ACC. Subtracted 1, so it's already subtracted 1. Why is it adding 1? It shouldn't be adding 1 before it sends the first one down, I don't think. Right. So this has its X loop, which is going to keep repeating till this is done. When it's done, it goes to the while loop. It moves up, down. This X needs to be reset when the while loop gets set. So something needs to keep track of how many X loops we need to do, I guess. Or what I could do is I could have this one communicate with this one and tell it to reset. So basically this one could send this one a number. Telling it, keep going. Right? So here it could say move up ACC. So I could save a backup. So save. I could say move up ACC. And then jump equals 0. ACC. Right? Or it checks ACC. If it's equal to 0, then it resets. Okay, otherwise it does a swap save and then loops. Oops. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to back up whatever the width is and save it here. And then after it's done doing its loop, it's going to check from up here. And this one's going to not just move left, but it's going to move down. So it's going to say move ACC down. And when it sends a 0 down here, because this one's going to get a 0, but then this one's going to get a 0 too, and it's going to know to reset. Okay, so if it's 0, it's going to reset. If it's not, it's going to, and that means reset completely to a new number. If it's not, then it's still going to reset. It's going to reset back to its saved number. So it's just going to say oh, and after I subtract 1, that's the one I should send down, I think. Not sure. Yeah, see, I'm subtracting 1. Which I don't know if that's a good idea. Jump if equal to 0, start. And then, what did I say? I swap. and then save. So what that will do is that'll keep the backup there for later, but it's also going to reset the ACC, and then it's going to loop. Right? Now that shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so we have a 4 for the width. ACC left. So we're sending a 3. Sends a 10. Bam, sends a 3 down. Sends a 1 once this gets to 0. It goes the Y loop. Y sends a 3. Sends a 4. Okay, why did... Oh. Hold on a second. Maybe I need to do move -1 down. There. What? That was weird. Oh. It gets the XY initial coordinates. But I just realized, like, this thing is keeping track of the Y coordinates. But this thing isn't really keeping track of the X coordinates. It's keeping track of the size, but it's not keeping track of the actual it's supposed to reset it with a 23 each time. Right? So here, it's fine. It's fine if I send a -1 down. I just have to send I think I just have to move ACC down there. The problem is move left ACC, move left right. Move ACC down. So in the X loop, so I need to save it when I get a new value.
Oh man, that's taking up so much space. So when I get a new value, I need to save it. When I need to get my old value out of backup, I need to do a swap and then a save in order to get the backup up to ACC, but then still have it in the backup. Then I send the x coordinate down, and then I send the y coordinate down, and then the loop happens. Okay. So I got the 23. I got the width. I send a -1 down at the start, which is fine. I do a swap save, which is fine for the beginning. I move 23 down. Move 10 down. Okay, move a 3 down. Boom. Boom. Okay. That was weird. Okay, we move a 10 down. Jump X loop. Right ACC. Boom, boom, boom. So it seems like we're actually making a decent, progress. Okay, so now I need to do the same thing with the y coordinate. So the first one that comes here is it says move left ACC, and then it says save. Okay, I'm saving it here. Move left, right. Okay, so this keeps track of the height. Move right ACC, jump start. Now here's the thing, I swap. Right? So now I have my original one. Right? I back it up. Swap. Move ACC down. Add 1. So now it's 11. I didn't swap again. I need to add 1, save. There we go. Okay. I think I just need to put the sub 1 after I moved it left. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, the width is 4. Jump if greater than 0 loop. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, that's why. I never send a 0 left. Okay. So since I sub 1 before I send it, I need to add 1. Right? So I'll just add 1 when I first get it. There we go. Okay. Move right, left. So now there's just a deadlock. Move up, down. Move up, right. It's already trying to move one up, right. Move up, down. So this is waiting on this. Well, this is waiting on this. Well, this is waiting on this. So that's kind of weird. They shouldn't be waiting on each other like this. Why is this one waiting on this one unless it's done? If it's done, it shouldn't be waiting on it. So if this one should send it a 0 when it's done. So move right ACC. If it's 0, it says it goes to start. Move left ACC. Okay, so there's nothing telling it 0 and sending a 0 down. JZ start. This one should check. Right, if it moved up, down. Yeah, it doesn't even check. The Y loop. Move -1 down, save, swap, save, whatever. It checks to see when the X loop is done, and then it goes back to the Y loop. See, there's nothing that ends this thing. Which is a problem. Oh boy, this is crazy. The problem is that now that I have that these two are communicating with each other, I can't move the size thing to be over here. But the thing is, I think this is managing too much, because now I have to add the fact that it needs to check to see when the Y loop is done. And that seems really hard. Let's see, move right ACC. Jump if equal 0 Y loop. Move 3 down. Yeah. This one isn't even checking anything for the Y loop. It doesn't know what to do when the Y loop is done. See, it just says move up, down. Oh, the way I could set it up is try to just send this numbers, like coordinates. And essentially make them just, you know, make it output whatever you give to it. And that way I have like 3 access points to whatever the output is, rather than this thing being the manager. So it would just say, okay, move left down, move right down, or whatever. Move -1 down or something like that. It would just, you know. And then they would just, you know, feed it the information from all sides or something crazy like that. Oh man, but of course we couldn't really get around to doing it to this one because this is in the way, so. If I could add 2 more lines of code, what I would do here is I would basically say, I would say move up to ACC. Move left to ACC. Save. And then swap. Up right. Guys, this is crazy. I can't do 2 loops here. What I could do is I could save the X value here. I could save the X value here. And then instead of this one keeping track of it, this one would just spit it. Right? It wouldn't save or swap. It wouldn't save. It wouldn't say move left ACC, save, or anything like that. Okay, so basically I would say move up ACC, and then move up
right. Okay, so this one doesn't even keep track of, first of all, it doesn't even need a save, it doesn't even need the ACC, it doesn't even need that. So all it does is move left, right. So it just sets the size. Okay, then it enters the while loop, sends a -1 down. Boom. It doesn't need to swap or save because it's not storing it in its own ACC. So now, okay, move ACC right. So now instead of sending ACC down, it just says move left down. So it doesn't even look at it. Then it says move up down. Okay, so this one's going to keep track of it. Okay. It doesn't want to move up, down. This is where I use the ACC. Now move up to ACC. Okay, move ACC down. But in between here, it's going to see if it needs to reset. Jump if equals to 0. Reset. Right? So if this sends it a 0, this resets. It moves left, right. But when it resets, we'll do it down here. We'll move a 0 left. Otherwise, we move it 1 left. Oh, it fills up the whole thing. So basically, this one's going to have a loop. Move up, right. Move ACC, right. And it's going to loop. It's going to say move. It's going to say save. Alright, it's going to say move right, ACC. Okay, so if it's jump if equals 0, reset. Otherwise, jump, loop. So then it goes swap, save, and then it says move. And then move ACC right again. So this one is going to keep track of that. Just the X value is all it's going to do. And this one is just going to tell it 1 or 0 based on whether it needs to reset the X value. In fact, if I didn't want this to do it, I could try to code it in there. Nice. Okay. Okay, now I need to make sure that this one is sending this one a 0 when it's done. 11, 13, right? So this one, see, it sends a 10. It sends an 11. It needs to send a 0. 12. And send like a 13 or whatever. 13, maybe a 14, but then I bet you it does not send a 0. Right? Yeah, it just moves. So, start should be down here instead of up here. And then this should just say move 0 down. Let's try that. Uh-oh, something else is not working now. Move left to right, move ACC left. Jump if equal to 0, start. Subtract 1, move ACC left, and then move ACC down. Okay. Move up ACC. Jump if equal to 0, start. Move left ACC. So basically when this one senses from this that it's done, it just grabs another one. Right? So this is weird because this is kind of telling this one it's done, and it's telling this one it's done, and when this one's done, or when this one's done, it tells it this, and then this just assumes that this is going to be done. So they have to be synchronized. Okay, so it sends a 0. 13. Okay, it sends a 2, a 1, a 0. Okay. Aha, this one's trying to do one more loop. So you'd saying move ACC left instead of move left ACC. And I think it's because I need to hold on. How many is it? 4 tall? So hold on, this one does something and then it checks and it sees the 4. See, it's 5. Three, 4, and then it stops. This should be taller. So this actually seems like it's doing what's right. It seems like this one's leaving too early. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and then this isn't doing something when it gets a 0. This does something and then it checks. Right, so it does something and then it sees a 4. Does something, it sees a 3. Does something, it sees a 2. Does something, it sees a 1. So if it saw a 0, it'd still do something once. In this case, it's the opposite. It does something when it sees a 1. So when it sees a 4, it's only going to do 4 because when it sees a 0, it's not going to do anything. This one does at least 1 if it sees a 0. This one does none if it sees a 0. So if this one sees a 1, it's going to do something twice. That's why it's not working. So this one, it needs to send the ACC left before it subtracts, but then send it down after it subtracts, I guess. So this should 5 rows, 5. Okay, that's sort of correct, I guess. What? Everything's waiting on everything. What in the world? Everything's questioning each other. Nothing's trying to give anything. Move right to ACC. Move up to ACC. Move right to ACC. Move left to ACC. What? Okay, 5. Oh, wait a minute. This one didn't send it to 0, did it? Because when this one, okay, when it says move right to ACC, then it jumps if it's a 0, right? So let me guess. Move ACC left. Subtract 1 by the time it's 0. It's not gonna loop. Alright? Yep. So, this is so annoying. So sub 1.
So this one, what I need to do is this one needs to work the same way this one does, and just assume that there's one, because what happens is internally this one's going to sense when there's a 0. So I could just add 1, and then this would just check at the beginning of each loop. I don't even know. Okay, so move right ACC. If it's 0, it's goes to start. So what I'll do is I'll just say move ACC down. Move right. Let's see. Okay, let's erase these two. Okay, now it's going to do it no matter what. It's going to save, and it's going to say move right ACC. Jump start. Okay, let's try that. So it should do 5 rows still. Bam. Oh my goodness, please work. You guys have no idea like how happy I am to see this thing filling out the image. Oh man, that's beautiful. That is nice. Oh my goodness, yes. Let's do that fast. Oh yes, we did it. We did it, guys. I did it. I programmed this darn thing. Okay, nice. So all I had to do was switch this thing to be synchronized the same way this one is, where it's like a for loop, or it's like a while loop that does, it's like a do while instead of a while, basically. That's crazy. That's nuts. That is absolutely ridiculous. But it works. That is really cool. Alright guys. So we did the exposure mask viewer, and that's another episode of TIS-100, and I will try to combine these two episodes without producing a humongous file, so I can upload it in a reasonable amount of time. So, see you guys later.